Miscellaneous, Fax Advantage. This video is going to focus on Fax Advantage. TAM step-by-steps for this video can be found in the S Drive Andreini Manuals 2009 TAM New Workflows Step-by-Steps folder. The step-by-steps used for the production of this video include printing to Fax Advantage, faxes, opening TIFF files, and Fax Advantage faxing and attaching faxes from the fax send log. So general guidelines, Fax Advantage is an additional tool that integrates with TAM and can be used to fax or email clients, vendors, third parties, etc. without having to print to paper and manually fax. Using Fax Advantage versus a manual fax will also allow you to document the client file in TAM without having to attach separately. See Activity Notify in the step-by-steps. So, using Fax Advantage. Step-by-step instructions for using Fax Advantage can be found in the step-by-steps folder. A sample of the instructions can be found below. While in the document you want to fax, click File and choose Print. Click the Printer Setup and select the Fax Advantage printer and click OK. If printing an application, you will need to change the print option from Q to Print. So let's just walk through the Fax Advantage process from start to finish. So I've already printed my document directly to Fax Advantage. On any document, whether in TAM or not, if you go to your File menu, select Print, you can change your printer to the Fax Advantage printer, and that's how documents get routed to Fax Advantage for the faxing queue. So this is what the screen looks like when you open Fax Advantage and you hit New Job. This is the interface that you'll see for service options. So we're just going to run through this really quickly. It's a fairly simple process. So cover sheet, I'm designating San Mateo as my branch office. Subject line. This is really important. Fax Advantage, the subject line on your fax actually becomes your attachment description for the attachment in TAM. So in order to avoid exceptions, you must make certain you follow the attachment description naming protocol. So in this case, I'm doing 14-15 CLBA test fax to Costco. I'm also putting a note for our front desk receptionist to let her know this is a test fax because I'm actually going to send this fax, but I'm going to send it to the Andreini main fax line in San Mateo instead of sending it to a holder. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hit Next. This is where we determine who the recipient is for the fax. In this case, I used my TAM phone book, and I was able to pull up my favorite client, Tanamir and Antle, and selected them for faxing. At this point, I would want to enter my category and subcategory, which I've already done. I'm going to select Activity Notify because Activity Notify is what tells TAM where to attach the item. So I'm going to go ahead and just plug in Tanamir and Antle. And I'm going to select my policy, and it doesn't matter which policy type you do. For a test, I'm just choosing the auto policy because that's the one I've been using for all these videos. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Granted, this fax number right here is not, it is the client's number, and I'm not going to use that for the test fax. You can't change it at that screen, but this is the screen that we can change it at. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 650 3784361. So anything on this screen you can actually override. All right, so let's go ahead and hit Next. This is the document that I had printed. So we're going to go ahead, we have that one selected. We're going to delete that document after use. And at this point, we're going to hit Next, Sent From, and it'll include your name, phone number, fax number when available, email address. You can go ahead and plug that in if it doesn't populate. So we want to send immediately, and we want to notify on success or failure. We're going to go ahead and hit Finish. So final thoughts after our test fax. Couple reminders. Fax Advantage, as long as you select that box, will notify you when a fax was sent successfully, or in our case for our test client, we also asked it to notify us if it was unsuccessful. I would just leave that radio button checked. If you do not see your fax was attached to your customer, follow the step-by-steps for attaching that fax from the sent log.